1 month ago, I made a poll on my channel asking who is your vote, Trump or Biden? Well, there's 3.2 thousand voters, and 94% said Trump and 6% said Biden. Then about a week and a half ago, we saw the legendary, horrific, extremely worrying debate between Trump and Biden. So I posted another poll, 3.6 thousand votes. Who won last night's debate? What were some of the most shocking or interesting moments? Well, 95% voted Trump won the debate, and 5% said Biden, similar to the previous poll that I made asking who your vote is. So this video, I want to do something a little different. I'm not one to usually show clips from Fox News or CNN or even talking specifically about Biden and Trump without throwing something silver related in there, but I want to talk about this. I want to have this discussion between my audience because it is important. We need to discuss the future of our country because I love my country and I know you do too, and I'm sure actually I know a lot of us agree on these same things. It's much bigger than just policies at this point. So I'm going to show clips from Fox News and CNN. Now, interestingly enough, it's not just Fox News bashing Biden or making fun of him, but it's also CNN as well. We're going to show a clip from CNN and we'll also show something from Fox News, Karine Jean-Pierre, President Biden's making decisions. Now, I think some of the most worrying parts about this is not only about the 2024 election or him being so adamant on not stepping down, but also that he is the current president. He's the one that holds the nuclear codes. So when we are talking about the potential election, remember that that's our leader right now as well. I doubt he's pulling the strings or calling the shots, but at the end of the day, it's how other countries perceive us or view us, and we look extremely weak. So we're first going to show this clip from Karine Jean-Pierre from Fox News, posted 6 hours ago, and then we will go into the CNN video where Democratic lawmaker explains why he's calling for Biden to step down from the race.
No, we had our chat yesterday.
Yes, thank you, Karine. Does President Biden commit to serving a full second term if reelected?
Yes.
Thank you.
That's the first concerning part when you have so many people close to you, CNN, so many people, now donors dropping out, all urging you to step down, especially since their whole agenda is beating Trump. And if they could pick someone else like Gavin Newsom or Hillary Clinton or Kamala, that might give them better odds, even though I don't think so. I don't think anyone can step up and beat Trump, especially, this late in. But you also do have the chance of so many people wanting to beat Trump that regardless of who they pick, whether it be Hillary or Kamala, they'll all vote for that person anyways. But still, I don't think that's realistic. But like he said, the only person that could stop him is God himself, which is pretty concerning to say that. I would knock on wood if I was him, but also his wife. But his wife wants him to run more than probably him himself. This is elder abuse to some extent, and how all of these people, like Karine, is playing so nonchalant, like, oh, of course he is. Like, you guys are all crazy. Like, there's nothing wrong with him, when clearly she knows there is. If the tables were turned and this was Trump, she would be all over it.
We know the president says that his health is fine, but it's just his brain, and that he's sharpest before.
He was joking, by the way. I just want to make sure that that's out there. And he was making a lighthearted joke as he was speaking off. He's speaking off the cuff, and he was making a joke. You know the president; he likes to joke a lot. Okay. He's the same guy who says, "I know I look 40," right? So he likes to make jokes. It is a joke.
Okay.
I think people laugh when he says it.
Well, he also said he's sharpest before 8 p.m. So say that the Pentagon at some point picks up an incoming nuke. It's 11 p.m. Who do you call? The First Lady?
He has a team that lets him know of any news that is pertinent and important to the American people. He has someone, or that is decided obviously with his National Security Council, on who gets to tell him that news.
So
that's another very alarming thing that I feel like not enough people really think about. They're focused on policies or anyone trying to step on his side, but he holds the codes to the nukes. I mean, think about that situation.
Steve just said that when he was the speaker, many times when we had meetings in the Oval Office, Jill was there as well. When the First Lady's in these meetings, is she making decisions or is she just
No.
advising the president?
No, the president is the president of the United States. He makes decisions.
I don't believe that. I mean, we even just saw that reporter that got fired because she admitted that they handed her the questions to ask him. This is completely sanitized. This is completely set up, and he's still failing.
Okay. Another family member. President Biden has told me before he and his son don't have any business dealings together. So what is Hunter Biden doing in White House meetings?
Are you talking about the meeting where they came together from Camp David and the two of them walked to the president's meeting and he was there?
There's a report that aides were struck by his presence during their discussions.
Look, I'm certainly not going to get into private conversations that occur. What I can say is, and I spoke to this before, is that when they came back from Camp David, the president spent a couple days at Camp David with his family. He is very close to his family, as you know. It was the week of 4th of July, which is why his family members were.
And another thing is, I'm sure we'll get into it with the CNN stuff, but all the different excuses. Actually, I'm going to show you something. Look at all these headlines. So first, we have Biden aiming to prove U.S. and global doubters wrong with NATO speech. Polls find Biden damaged by debate, with Harris and Clinton best positioned to win, which is crazy. We also have some very silly excuses. He just had a bad night, right? That's just something. But also that it was the lack of preparedness, even though he was preparing for 12 whole days, now mentioning that he's going to go to bed a lot earlier and get more sleep. Says he screwed up, but vows to continue as polls. And it's nobody's fault, which that's definitely true. And if you saw the interview with George Stephanopoulos, that was very concerning as well. But at the end of the day, it's not going to get better. You know, someone with Parkinson's or Alzheimer's, it only gets worse. And imagine in 4 years, if he's already declining this bad in the past year, imagine in 4 years. And the president's the hardest job in the world. He's the leader of the free world. He is. Just think about that.
Were here last week. They walked together into the meeting.
Can you say if Hunter Biden has access to classified information?
No.
And are you...
They also, and by the way, that's BS. Him having access to classified information. I feel like he does. But also, there was these note cards that shows he looks at to know where to walk on the stage to the podium and walk off the stage, showing actual pictures that he has to look at. Like, that's wild.
You guys just not, since February, testing President Biden for Parkinson's or for dementia, because if he gets a bad result, it's all over that day.
Again, as I've said many times before, the president has had a fulsome, comprehensive, what we shared with you was comprehensive, but he's had a full physical. We've shown the results of those physicals this past 3 years. We showed it just 4 months ago. And it is in line with what we have done, similar to President Obama, similar to George W. Bush. We are committed to continue to be transparent. We are committed to continue.
No, they're not. Because if they were transparent, they were saying he was so sharp behind the scenes, and actually they were spreading this rumor that I can't even say it on here, but that he's banging his wife in bed, like making it seem like he's just some dynamo that is going ham behind the scenes in the sheets, and like they were doing anything possible. But this debate exposed all of it. They knew, but they were trying to cover it up, and now they're running around like a chicken with their head cut off because they realize that their guy to beat Trump, to save democracy, even though Trump would be the one saving democracy. And by the way, I'm not trying to sit here and just be one of those other channels just like repeating the stuff, bashing one person just because. I'm just throwing out my thoughts on this. I don't care if you're left, right, up, down, front, center, sideways, to the middle, even a little bit crooked. I don't care. I'm just worried, as you should be as well.
To show the results of those physicals. And look, it's the president's medical team that makes the decision. We are not, with all due respect, you're not a doctor, I'm not a doctor. It is the president's medical unit.
Speaking of medical teams or doctors, let's go over to this CNN video that came out yesterday. Democratic lawmaker explains why he's calling for Biden to step down from race.
Adam Smith of Washington State, the top Democrat on the House Armed Services Committee. And Congressman, for the record, we usually have you here to talk pure policy and foreign policy and armed services, not politics. But this is a fraught moment in our democracy. Where are you on this issue? What's your message to President Biden and to your fellow Democrats?
Well, look, I think he should step aside. I think it's become clear that he's not the best person to carry the Democratic message. And here's the thing. We have an incredibly strong message and record to run on. And in all respect to the president, he's done a great job. Okay? When you look at where the economy was when he came in, how our economy...
Well, don't even start that BS. Where the economy was, are they putting into context COVID? I mean, of course not, but come on.
We dealt with COVID so much better than any other economy in the world. The progress that we're making, the unemployment rate, stock market. Look, there's a lot of work.
Unemployment rate was all the jobs coming back from COVID.
Left to do. Housing's too expensive. Income inequality is still too great. But we've made progress on that too. That the lowest black unemployment, black poverty rate came under this president. I saw a report today in the New York Times that some of those, areas that have seen the manufacturing jobs flee are...
I do like how they have to, instead of answering the question, he has to rehash all of these other things. I think it just shows. But just CNN putting a title like this, Democratic lawmaker explains why he's calling for Biden to step, that speaks for itself. I mean, this is CNN.
Are actually starting to get better. Okay, and then on the other side, you've got Donald Trump, who's a complete disaster. Project 2025 and his promise to cut taxes more for the rich and corporations while raising tariffs to tax poor people. We got a good message. The president has shown he is not.
By the way, he definitely said he's stepping away from that Project 2025. That's just more stuff to try to, push a bad narrative on him. But yeah.
Capable of delivering that message in an effective way.
Just because, I shouldn't say just, because that 90-minute debate was a lot, but is this based entirely on that event? No.
No. There was concerns leading up to it in the terms of the president's ability to deliver a message, and it hasn't gotten better since the debate. The overall package shows we got a great message. I mean, when you looked at that debate, what all of us were feeling, my son who's in high school was, we should, sorry, he's in college now, but, any good debater could go back on what Donald Trump is saying. And so many missed opportunities were out there. And we want to deliver an effective message. And then there are the healthcare concerns. And look, a lot of Democrats are saying, well, let's move on. Let's stop talking about it. We're not the ones who are bringing it up. We're not the ones who said anytime, any place. And only Joe Biden was on that stage with Donald Trump. Our constituents are bringing it up. The country is bringing it up. And the White House, campaign strategy of be quiet and fall in line and let's ignore it simply isn't working right now.
One of your colleagues talked to me on Background and said that the problem with this issue with President Biden is, and I'm paraphrasing what this member of Congress said to me, is every American has seen this in their own life. Everybody knows what a confused older person.
That's a really good point. That's a really, really good point. And then especially thinking about 4 years and how much worse it's going to get. Anyone who's voting for Biden, that's just so unrealistic, right? It's insanity. So anyways, what do you think about this? I'm not going to show too much of this. I don't know if I will get like a copyright strike or not. I see so many other channels showing these, these videos. So I'd be surprised. Actually, I wouldn't be surprised. But regardless, what do you think about this? Who do you think should replace Biden if that's even possible, or who do you think is his best bet? A lot of people are saying Kamala, which is crazy. A lot of people say Hillary Clinton, which is crazy. A lot of people say Gavin Newsom, which is crazy. But, what do you think? Remember, folks, I don't care if you're left, right, up, upside down, front, center, sideways, crooked, backwards, front flips, I don't care. I just am concerned, as you should be, and I'm throwing my opinions out there from what I've seen and what I've heard and what you've seen and heard as well. So anyways, yeah, thanks for tuning in. If you guys like me doing videos like this, then I will continue to do more. I know Piers Morgan is one that I really like because he has people on from both sides, you know, debating each other right there. And I think that's very, you know, there's a lot of very good content and a lot of good discussion and points that are brought up from both sides. So yeah, I would probably start showing a lot of Piers Morgan stuff if you guys do like this, because I feel like that's where more truth is spoken between just mainstream media. Anyways, though, I'm going to wrap this video up here. Thank you so much for tuning in. This was Silver Slayer. I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace.